Hello everyone, I'm Sunil. I welcome you back to my YouTube channel TechBasics. In the last class, if you remember, we have discussed about data types in Python, and therein we have seen some of the data types we call them as mutable data types, and some of them we call them as immutable data types. So, can you tell us what are the various data types which are referred as mutable and which are referred as immutable data type? So, if you can remember what you have listened in the previous video, try to give the examples for this. So, this is the quiz for you. If you don't remember, you have to go back and review the previous video. Okay. Today, we'll try to understand what exactly we mean by casting in Python. So basically casting we mean wherein we can convert a data which is present in one data type into another data type. So here we can perform casting wherein you can convert a given data type into integer data type. How is that we are going to do? If it is given as 1, which is integer basically, you can just say int of 1, the output of that will be 1 only. But if it is something like 2.8 and then if you convert it to integer, you can say int of 2.8, then your output in y will be 2. In the similar way, if you are providing a string or a character which is 3, and then if you try to convert it to integer, your output is going to be 3 in integer. So this 3 can be used in order to perform arithmetic operations, whereas this is not allowed. So as we convert a data type, one data type into integer, we can as well convert a given value into float data type. So how is that we are going to do over here? You can say float of 1. The result of this will be 1.0. Float of 2.8 will be same as 2.8. There will not be any change because it is already in the form of float value. In the similar way, float of character 3 will be given as 3.0, and here again you can perform arithmetic operation. Finally, float of 4.2 in quotations, 4.2 as a string, it will be given as a 4.2, and this can be used in order to perform the calculations. So here we have seen how to convert a given value to integer as well as to float data type. In the similar way, you can as well convert a given value to string data type. So for that, you can make use of a function called a string. So you can say x equals to string of s1. So it will be given as s1 only. Whereas you can say y equals to string of 2. So this 2 will be now converted to a character form. Similarly, you can say z equals to str of 3.0. So this 3.0 will now get converted to string form and so on. So whatever values you get in a string form, we cannot perform any arithmetic operations on this particular data type. So then we'll try to understand, as we know all this from previous languages and so on, or if you are new to this, let's try to understand this in detail. Types of operators that you can make use of in Python. So basically operators are the one which are going to work on operands to perform various operations, and these operations can be classified as arithmetic operators, operations for which you will make use of arithmetic operators. You have comparison operators. Comparison, otherwise you can also call them as relational operators. You have assignment operator. You got identity operators. You got logical operators. You got bitwise operators, and then you have membership operators. So these are the various operators that are available to us in Python, which when provided with the operands, they are going to perform some kind of operation. So let's understand each one of these operators in detail. So coming to arithmetic operators, here as we know, we have an operator called addition operator plus symbol, which is normally used to perform addition. Similarly, minus symbol, which is for performing subtraction. And then a star is to perform multiplication. Slash is to perform division. So we know all this as we make use of this in our regular practice. Now you have something over here called percent, which you call it as modulus, which is normally used to perform the division. And once you divide, then you are not going to get here the quotient. Instead, you are going to get the remainder part. So like when you divide 30 by 20, the output is not going to be 1 or 1.5. The output is going to be the remainder after dividing, that is 10. Similarly, you have here something new called floor division. So here when you perform the division operation, you are not going to get the output in a float format. You will get only integer output over here. You can otherwise you can call this as integer division. Like for example, 9 floor division 2, your output is not 4.5, it is only 4. Okay, in the similar way, star you can use for exponential. So 10 star 2 is to indicate that it is 10 to the power 2. So in order to show power, you will use star. In some languages, we also use cap and so on. So 10 star 2 equals to 100. So you can just try out all these operations by writing simple program over there. Similarly, you have comparison operators, otherwise we are going to call it as relational operators, and they are double equal to is to check for equal to. A double equals to B, that is, you are going to check whether the value of A is equal to B or not. Okay, in the similar way, not equal to. So A not equal to B. So you can make use of this in some other languages like less than and greater than symbol. Similarly, you can make use of greater than, less than, greater than equal to, less than equal to, and so on. So whenever you are supposed to mention any condition wherein you are going to write comparison or relational operators, you can make use of any one of these particular operator over there. Then you have something called assignment operator. So equal to, if you are going to use only for one time, then it is to assign A equal to 100, A equal to B. Meaning of that is B value is stored in A. So when you write here double equal to, as we have seen in the previous case, it is for comparison. So plus equals to, it is as good as add and assign. So A equals to A plus B. You can write it as A plus equals to B. Okay. Minus equals to A equals to A minus B. You can write it as A minus equals to B. So writing this or this is one and the same. Similarly, star equal to A into B. You can write it as A star equals to B. Slash and then equal to. It is as good as saying A equal to A by B. Or A slash equals to B. Percent equal to, it is to say A equals to A percent B or A percent equals to B. Star equal to A star B can be written as A star equals to B. Slash equal to, you can write A equals to A slash B as A slash equals to B. So you can either write in this fashion or in this fashion. Okay, so these are all the various operators. We call them as assignment operators, and they do perform some operation and then they will try to assign the value. Similarly, we have bitwise operators. Bitwise operators normally to work on binary numbers. So, for example, say if you have the value for A and B as 100011100, then you can write ampersand, what you call it as ampersand, that is the AND operator, and you can work in this fashion: A ampersand B, that is A and B. So it is as good as you are performing AND operation between the values which are given over here. So when you go with AND operation, both the values over here has to be 1, then the result will be 1, otherwise it is going to be 0. So in this case it is 0 0 0 0 1. So you will get the output as 1, all zeros, and so on. But if it is the pipe operator, that is OR we say, okay, so you can perform in this fashion: A or B. So you will get the output as 1 if any one of this input is 1. So here you will get 1, here it is 0 1 1, and here also it is 1. Whereas XOR, you can show it with the help of caret: A XOR B. So here the result is going to be 1 when both the values are, when both the inputs are different. So 1 0 it is 1, 0 0 it is 0, 0 1 it is 1, 0 1 it is 1, and here both are equal, so it is going to be 0. If both are ones and both are zeros, then the output is going to be 0 only. Coming to ones complement, you can show it with the help of tilde symbol. Ones complement of A, you need to just convert the value 0 into ones and 1 into 0. So this becomes 0, this becomes 1 1 1, and then 0. That is what you call it as ones complement. Now coming to left shift. Left shift is whenever you try to perform a shift of bits towards the left side. So if I am going to shift this towards the left side, and then if I am going to perform B left shift for 2 times, so this is B value. If you shift this for 2 number of times, what happens is this value will be shifted, this value will be shifted, and you will be remain with 1 0 0 added to that 2 more zeros. So you are shifting towards the left side. That is what you call it as left shift. And if you shift this towards the right side, you call it as right shift. So when you shift it toward the right side, what happens? This 0 will go away, this 0 will go away, then you will have 1 1 1, and then you will be added with 2 zeros over there. Will be added with 2 zeros. Here it is written in a wrong way. It has to be 1 1 1 and 2 zeros to be added over there onto the left side. Then you have something called membership operators. Membership operators, we have this in other languages like SQL and so on. So what are membership operators? It is like in and not in. So in is to say whether the value exists, not in is to say whether the value do not exist, and so on. So if X equals to Hyderabad and then Delhi, if there is a list given over here in this fashion, then you can say print Delhi in X. So when you say print Delhi in X, it means you are going to check whether Delhi is present in this list or not. If it is so, then it is going to return a true value. In the similar way, if this is the list, and then you can say print X equals to Hyderabad, Delhi, and then if you say print Delhi in X, it is available, so it will return true. Okay, and Delhi not in X. Not in X means whether it is not there in X, so then it will return false because Delhi is available in this particular list, and so on. So it is going to check whether this value is present in the list. Then in that case, it will return true. If it is not present in the list, it is going to give a false value. Then you have a logical operator here, that is AND, OR, and NOT. So earlier we have seen bitwise, now you have logical operator which is going to work on 2 operands over here. So you can say AND is to say A greater than 5. So this is one condition that you are going to mention. and is to combine this condition with the second condition. So here you can use one condition, here you can make use of one condition, and then you can join these two conditions over here with the help of and. So and will check whether the result of this is true, and if the result of this is true, then only your output is going to be true. But if any one of these result is false, then the output is going to be false. Say for example, if the result of the first is false, then this particular operator will not check for the second condition because it requires both the condition to be true. Whereas in case of OR, you need to satisfy one of the condition given over here. So if this is true, it will not then check for the second condition because irrespective of the result of the second condition, the output is going to be true. And then not is only to negate. Not a greater than 5 is to say whether a is not greater than 5. Not married is to check whether unmarried, and so on. So you can make use of not whenever you want to just perform negation and so on. So these are all logical operators which are used when you have multiple conditions and so on. Then you have something called identity operators. Identity operators basically are two over here. One is and the other one is not. A is B. So if the value of A is 100, B is 200, print A is B. So it is as good as saying whether the value of A is equal to B. So in this case it is no. So the result of this is going to be false. Is not. A is not B. A is 100, B is 200. Print A is not B. Then it is going to give you the result as true because A is not equal to B and so on. So this is how you can make use of identity operators. Okay, so these are the various operators that we have seen. Now you will try to make use of these operators when you try to work with decision-making statement in Python. So normally when you are writing the program, it becomes compulsory for us to make some decision at some point of time. So making a decision is to check whether a person is married or not married, whether a student is pass or not, whether a person got a salary or not, whether the height of a person is greater than 5 feet or not, whether the weight of a person is less than 50 or not. So whenever you want to make a decision while you write the code, then you are supposed to make use of a decision making statement in Python. And then how is that particular statement going to work? It is going to work in this fashion. If expression here, you will write some condition over there, and if it is true, then you are supposed to execute some code over there. So if expression, the syntax goes like this. If expression, here you are supposed to make use of colon, and then you are supposed to write the statement or number of statement. Here one thing you need to take care now is you have to follow the indentation over here. As we know, we don't make use of curly brackets whenever you make use of any statement in Python. So how is that we are going to say that this particular statement is within this if and so on? So that is possible only by going with this concept of indentation. So you can as well write this particular statement in this fashion. If expression colon, to the side of that itself you can write a statement. So we'll try to work with this particular statement. So before we go for it, let's try to understand what is the precedence of operators that we have in Python. So precedence is if you are working with multiple statements over there with the help of multiple operators in a statement, then which particular operator in a statement. For example, say if you have a statement wherein you are using 4 different types of operators, then you should know which operator among that will work first, which will work next, which will work next, and so on like. So this is how the precedence of operator is given in Python and so on. So just you need to remember which operator will work first in case you have 2 operators used in a particular statement. So just go through this. Yeah. So we can as well write this decision making statement in this fashion. You can say if expression colon, then you can have a statement or multiple statement, else you can have a statement or multiple statements over here. So you will mention a condition over here. When you say condition, here you can make use of relational operators, you can make use of logical operators and so on. So you can call comparison operators and logical operators can be used whenever you write the condition. And if that condition that you mention is true, it is going to execute the code which is in your if part. What do you call it as if code? Otherwise, if the condition given over here is false, then it is going to execute the statements which are present in the else code, and then it will come and stop. So let's try to understand this. We'll try to execute a small program over here. So we'll make use of your VS Code software for that, and then you will try to write the code for this. So you take A equals to 100, B equals to 200, and then you can say if A greater than B colon. So you don't have to make use of parentheses and all over here. So when you press enter, automatically you will see that the indentation is taken care. So what do you do if this is the case? If A is greater than B, you print the value of A, else you can say colon, you can print the value of B. So this is how you are going to work over there. So this indentation is very important over here. If you are not going to make use of this indentation, you are bound to get an error when you execute this particular program. See over here. So indentation error, you directly get expected and indented block. So what is that you need to do? This print cannot be over here. You have to give indentation for that and so on. So now clear this previous output and then try to execute this. So then you will see A is not greater than B, so it is false. Then it will come and execute the statement which are present under else part. So it will print the value of B. So if you want, you can have multiple statements over here, but do follow the indentation for that. So you can say print A is bigger number. Similarly over here, you can say printf B is bigger number. Okay. And then clear the previous output. Now what happened? This is again false. So it will come and it has to execute now these two statements. So see, B is big and then print B. So in this else part and if part, you can have one statement or you can have multiple statements over there. But in order to say that the scope of this is over here within if and the scope of this is within else, you need to follow the rules of indentation. So this is how you can write multiple statements in if. This is how you can write multiple statements in else part. Now, if I make the value of A as 1000, then you will see that it will execute the first part, that is if code, because the condition is true over there. But in case if I am going to make both as 1000, then what do you think will be the output over here? Will it be the statements of if or the statement of else or both? Think a while. So definitely A is 1000, B is 1000, so it is not greater than each other. So what happens? It will execute the statements which are present in else part only. Don't get confused over here as both are equal. So when both are equal, the condition that you have mentioned over here is false. The reason it will come to else part. You can check this. So you will get B is big and then you can print the value of B and so on. So this is how you can write programs with the help of if and else statement. More on this we'll try to understand. We'll try to take some complicated programs over here. We'll also try to write programs using nested if statements in our next video. So do practice all this what we discussed today. Okay, thank you.